I have some awesome updates around Minswap. They've been working really hard in the background, doing a lot of updates to their DEX, involving the community and releasing some really interesting features. Let's get into it.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If this is your first time here, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click that notification bell, and you hear more great Cardano related content from me. Now, this update is purely around Minswap. It's one of the DEXs which I absolutely love. It's a community focused DEX, and they really work hard to involve the community in all the different decisions that they do for the DEX. Everything from how they generate revenue all the way to little things such as new liquidity pools that they open up on the DEX. So it all goes through a governance and voting process. So it's quite exciting to see what the community comes up with and what the Minswap team implement through that process as well. So let's have a look at some of these really cool new updates. But first off, if you want to get any of the show notes for this, you can get to it at our website at learncardano.io/EP044, episode 44. Excellent. You can find all the show notes there. I've put everything in detail. You can watch the YouTube video from there as well, if you're obviously watching this on YouTube already, or you can listen to the audio only version, whatever suits you best. So let's have a look at some of these updates. Now, the very first one here is everything's on Minswap is being tracked on CoinMarketCap now. So you can actually go over to CoinMarketCap and see the daily volume and percentage of volume that's going through the DEX at the moment. This is quite interesting here. So this will give you an indicator of what is being traded, what's being popular at the moment. And the log token, this is from that NFT project that is from South Korea. They're doing some interesting things there. They're doing the whole metaverse play with Cardano Village, and their token's gone through their DEX at the moment and is trading quite high. So using this on CoinMarketCap will give you this kind of data and give you a better understanding of how the Cardano ecosystem is going, what's trading well, what isn't trading well within the DEX itself. So it's a really good indicator of what's going on. You can also see the 24-hour volume there, which is trading at 23 BTC at the moment. Now, if you compare this to other decentralized exchanges in the DeFi space in general, such as Uniswap, it is insignificantly small. Let's go back there. So 23 BTC versus 40,500 BTC traded on Uniswap. So it's Cardano's got a long way to go to catch up to that. The numbers are absolutely small, but if you're in the Cardano ecosystem trading and collecting tokens on a DEX such as Minswap, we are very, very early. So we are pretty excited to see what will happen over the next few years as the DEX grows, as the ecosystem grows as well. Now, the next update here is the rewards adjustment for the various farms on Minswap. So this is the percentage allocation of Minswap tokens to each one of the farms. So you can see here the Minswap pool is at 54.75%, and all the other tokens have a varying percentage. Now, this gets adjusted every 2 weeks, and I think it's changing to 30 days now using the 30-day average. But if we have a look at these articles here, I didn't know any of this, and I had to go back and look up exactly how it all works. But they're using an interesting formula to work out exactly how much Min tokens should be distributed from these particular pools and adjust it accordingly. Now, there's a beautiful long article here using this formulaic approach to Minswap's min emissions. Now, Marco here wrote all this, and I think they collaborated with the Minswap team to work out exactly how those min tokens would work and how they're distributed across the various different pools. Now, the idea is to actually reward the ones that have the most liquidity, deep liquidity and volume in there as well, so that those ones will stick around and stay with the DEX. Any DEX requires a lot of liquidity and a lot of volume to be successful. So the incentives are there to reward those particular pools with those particular values there. So projects that are building up really good communities behind it usually have that volume behind it there as well. So that's the way that it's working. So going forward, it's going to change a little bit, and the missions will eventually dwindle down to almost nothing, and that's the way it's going to happen. So these yield farming rewards with a lot of mint tokens at the moment that we're getting will diminish down over time. Now you can read more about this formula-driven model on Medium here. This is Marco's post that he did back in April this year, April 15th of April. You can read and get more detail about how this whole process works. Links all in the blog post for you on the learncardano.io website. Now, the next really cool, exciting thing, I absolutely love this. Other DEXs are doing it as well, but they are now providing ADA staking rewards as well as all the yield farming rewards that you're getting. So if you're providing liquidity on the DEX, you're getting your ADA and getting these brand new tokens as well. Absolutely fantastic. I thought I would be missing out on these ADA rewards. This gives me more incentive to actually provide more liquidity, knowing that I'll get ADA rewards and these new tokens as well. So it's a kind of a win-win on many different levels. Now, how much of a win-win? This is pretty cool. Check this out. So this is the, can I open this bigger? Can I make it bigger? It's pretty small. Oh, there we go. Okay, a little bit bigger. Now, some of these give you triple tokens. So if you have a look at this CNETA pool here, the NFT Maker pool, and also the Yumi Universe pool as well, they give you 3 different tokens. So you get the Min rewards from that pool, you get the ADA rewards, as well as the CNETA in this case. So 3 different tokens that you can collect from 3 different ecosystems and gain those tokens. You can sell, trade them, do whatever you want. Take your profits as you collect them. So that is absolutely amazing. And like I said, the biggest thing there, you get to keep those ADA rewards. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if we have a look at the Min token here, over the course of time, you can see that people are essentially selling their Min tokens. And this is quite natural. You gain some tokens, you want to take some profit, so you sell it as you go. And over the course of time, since the DEX has launched, you can see that price continuously drop, which is kind of expected. And you can see that drop further and further. Now, we won't see this rise again, I believe, until revenue models change, until the yield farming rewards change as well. And then we can see more desirability for the token as people try and gain more of these tokens for different mechanisms. Now, there is a really interesting article that the team go through, and is it up? Yep, okay. This is the Minomics research. So this is looking at the different revenue models for the Minswap DEX. So at the moment, they're trying to essentially gain liquidity by renting your tokens and then giving you these Min tokens in exchange. And of course, like I said, everyone's selling them at the moment. So how can that model change to benefit the DEX so that there's more of a buying pressure as opposed to a selling pressure on that particular token? And they go through a whole bunch of different things here within this article that talks about that. Highly encourage you to read it so you can learn a little bit more about their new Minomics, or the tokenomics behind the Min tokens, so that the DEX itself can generate better revenue and create that desirability for the token as well. Now, one of the really interesting concepts that this article talks about is bonding, or liquidity bonding. And this is the idea of getting a discount of a particular token for your ADA so that it encourages you to buy that particular token. So instead of continuously selling it, this is a way for people to buy into a particular liquidity pool, but for a discount. So for example, if you were interested in getting liquidity for a particular trading pair such as Min and ADA, instead of buying the Min at a set price or the market price, you could buy it at a slight discount, maybe a 10% discount, so you get a little bit more of that Min token for the ADA that you're paying for it. And that creates that buying pressure on that particular token and gives you that incentive to buy in because you're getting that discount as well. So it's a really interesting concept. It's not a brand new concept. It's done elsewhere in the ecosystem, but it's going to be implemented, or hopefully it's going to be implemented on the Minswap DEX to create a different revenue model for the team. So you can find out a little bit more about this bonding and protocol owned liquidity in this article down here from Chainlink, and you can learn a little bit more about what liquidity bonding actually is. Now, the rest of the article goes through how the DEX makes revenue. Everything from the liquidity pool fees, because it owns quite a lot of the liquidity in some of the pools. That means it's earning some of the fees that are going through these particular pools. So that's one way it's getting revenue. Then comes the batcher fees, the fees that they take for processing the transactions, and then the farming rewards that come through. So Minswap do own a percentage of all the various farms that are on the DEX as well, and of course the ADA staking rewards, because they're using the ADA currently that is staked various pools to stake to their private stake pool, so they can earn some of the revenue from that too. So all these models are how the DEX is making revenue at the moment, and these are going to be changed and adjusted over time. Quite interesting how the DEX evolves over the next few months. Now, the team have actually put in some questions on their forum here, so you can find this in the show notes as well. But they've put some interesting questions to the community, and they want the community's feedback in regards to how they should change various aspects here so that the revenue models change and hopefully benefit the DEX in the future as well. So if you're interested, please check out that article, read up about what's going on in the ecosystem there. There's quite a few replies, 66 replies, and it's a little bit old now. It's 19 days old, but you can still join in on the conversation there. Now, the last really interesting thing that the team are doing is the liquidity bootstrapping event for other tokens, which they're called the Launch Bowl, or essentially launching different tokens and projects on their DEX, which is really cool. So if you're working on something amazing and you've managed to build up a bit of community and have some liquidity that you're holding on to, you can launch it within their DEX, and they will take it that little bit further so that you can gain more traction and get the tokens into more community members' hands, etc., etc. Now, this is a continuation of what they did for their own DEX. So when they were launching, they did the liquidity bootstrapping event. Plenty of videos in the archives on the Learn Cardano podcast here that you can learn more about how that process worked. But they essentially managed to raise, let me get the number here, I think it was 25 or 28 million ADA through their DEX, and that provided a massive amount of liquidity for the launch of the DEX. And now they're doing it for all other projects as well. They're doing it in three different ways. So the classic listing, which is just getting a token pair up, but that requires quite a bit of liquidity, quite a bit of TVL locked in. They recommend 50k ADA TVL. So it's quite a bit. So if your project's quite small and you don't have 50,000 ADA, might not be the best option. But the other ones here as well, we have the liquidity bootstrapping event as a service. So that is working for a lot of projects as well. But the Minswap DAO will actually own a certain percentage of those tokens. So just keep that in mind. Different options here will work for different projects. Now, the very last option here is a really interesting one, and this is a combination of a couple of different things. So it's part of the liquidity bootstrapping event and also a classic listing, and they call it the collective zap. The collective zap in, because CZI, okay. Now, this one's quite interesting in that it works the same way as how the Minswap Zap-in works now, where you can buy in on a particular liquidity pool token, but it does it over a period of time. Now, because of that period of time, you don't get your liquidity pool tokens straight away. You get them at the end of the event. So as the price fluctuates, might go up, might go down, you can pull your liquidity in and out without suffering loss there, because it won't actually sell. You get your liquidity back as what you entered in at. There'll probably be a lot of rules around that, so it doesn't force the price up and down. And at the end of the LBE, they may put in some fees in there, so it won't fluctuate the price too much, just as they did for their own token. But at the end of that time period, you will get your liquidity pool tokens at a fairer price, well, hopefully at a fairer price, because there hasn't been as much market manipulation within the price. So really interesting ways that they're going about launching projects on their DEX. Now, there have been a lot of projects that have launched over the last few months, and I'll just go through a couple of them here. So we have ADAOZ and also the NTX as well. They've been on the DEX for a little while now and providing double farm rewards. We are getting NFT Maker. They're providing double farm rewards. And of course, now with the ADA rewards, triple rewards. Absolutely amazing. We also have clap tokens. So if you own some clap tokens, you can provide liquidity there, get those tokens to work before you're going through a voting process on their DAO as well. We also have Society, which came in recently, and a couple more. Mikosi Makosi Planet. They're doing that in LBE, a full LBE where you'll be able to provide liquidity, get some of their tokens at a really fair price as well. So as you can see, there is a lot happening within the Minswap community at the moment. The DEX is powering along and doing some really cool, unique and innovative things in the Cardano ecosystem. If you haven't checked out the DEX yet, please check it out, have a look, have a little play, join the community and see what you think. Links to it all below in the show notes for you and on our website too. Now, if you really enjoyed this content, please consider giving it a thumbs up, click subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll see me in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.